Well, for whatever dumb reason, the landlord is cutting down our tree here, and it's happening soon, and I'm gonna go say goodbye. I did not think this would happen. I don't know why. It just had beautiful orange leaves. It's got the fucking Fern Gully X. I don't see how it's a threat to the house if that's the problem, but anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye now. Last moments of the tree. I've enjoyed looking at you, laying under you, seeing your orange leaves in the fall, seeing your beautiful leaves canopying this area and giving shade. There's not gonna be shade here anymore in the summer. At least I'm moving, but that is just sad. And it's gone just like that. Really sucks. Really fucking sucks. Very sad. I'm just sick of people doing things without my consent and not being in charge. That's gonna end soon. Sad, sad, sad. Alright, this is depressing and sad. Look at that beautiful tree. Fuck. Here it goes. Just gonna grind it up. Goodbye, tree. Thank you for all you've done for us the last 3 years. Bye-bye, tree. So sad, so unnecessary.
Come, see our blue sink. Isn't our sink blue and nice? It's so nice. It's beautiful.
Do you think you can get food poisoning from food being gross?
Yes.
This chapter lately, the last few months and now of life has been harder. I would say since about June or July, the second half of this year pretty much has been more of a difficult life chapter for me. The 2 mushroom trips I took this summer and end of summer have made me face some traumas that, to where it's been disrupting my normal life. It's been a grieving process. It's been a lot of processing, even in my everyday, day-to-day. And on top of that, they've brought up things to realize about relationships with people in my life, which has driven up the conflict with the people and led to put downs toward me. And yeah, it's kind of like a vicious cycle of me being exhausted and burnt out by life and all the things I've started and quit throughout life, and just having all these traumas that I'm still processing and healing from, and all the mindsets and feelings and thoughts that root to them. And yeah, so then I am not motivated in the morning because my energy's there, and then so I have a hard time getting going in the morning, and then I get put down for it and have comments made about it, and I feel like I'm a burden to people and I don't have a safe place to go where, you know, which is why I just want to get moved in with Keegan. You know, I'm not a big fan of the if-then happiness concept, because it's clear to me that when you get to any if, then you're happy, but then there's instantly a new if to get to. But yet, I just know everything is going to get so much better when I move in with Keegan, when I have that safe place. Just a safe space, like for the first time ever in life, I would say. And I'm looking fucking forward to that, and I'll make it through this last little bit of this chapter. Just a lot of put downs from people, like I said, about struggling to have motivation lately, which if you want to think of anything that'll make you struggle to be motivated, it's probably processing some difficult traumas, you know? So I wish this world was more trauma informed. I wish unconditional mutual respect and healthy relating and communicating was more of the norm, and I wish that I wasn't constantly put down about things that actually have to do with my trauma, because it feels really just like, why? Why? I'm in my 4th month of being on hiatus from animal rights activism and my Alicia Demi animal rights channel. My intention for that hiatus was to pursue something creatively, but it turned out being a hiatus that I needed for just being burnt out from trauma and processing trauma and needing more time and space to do that. And of course now all the moving stuff is happening, so yeah. House updates, December 6th, 2023. We finally got our color. We went the next one lighter. It's beautiful. And that is what we're going with. Beautiful. And we're not gonna overthink it. And see how it looks next to the other one. Yeah, it's definitely lighter. And look at that. Keegan got all the floors up everywhere up here, because we're gonna start getting down to business. Look at, even in there. See? Amazing job, Keegan. And Anne, his mom, is working on the stairs, which also don't have carpet anymore. And I'm gonna do some trim painting. All right, Keegan's doing something in there, but let's look at these doors. I've been at it with the doors. I still think it looks too dark, but I have surpassed my limit of times that I can purchase new colors and try them. Note to everyone, the paint colors in the store are literally always darker in real life than on the sample. What are you doing?
I'm taking out the shit. Well, I'm cutting it first, but...
That sounds fun.
No.
You did a lot of work. I don't know how you do it.
I've been here every day since Friday.
Oh my god, are you a crackhead
And I'm gonna
yet?
be here until Thursday, tomorrow too. What'd you say?
Are you a crackhead yet?
Just a still pothead.
Okay.
Just one. I haven't transferred to crack yet.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
Alright. You know, if we shine some light on it though, it does look lighter. The stairs are naked now. We're not 100% sure what we're doing with them. Little symbols of hope. We miss our tree. Like I mentioned before, I've been struggling lately. I feel like I'm just constantly on the verge of snapping and then using all of my energy to regulate myself back to feeling okay again and then getting back to being on the verge of snapping. I got frustrated. I kicked this closet door and broke it. Once in a great while, I do something like that. I never do it in front of other people because I know that can be traumatizing for other people. But I've just been leaning into gratitude lists and yeah, just gonna do some more of that and do that while I paint. And I've just been holding on to what I've learned on mushroom trips as like my source of faith when I feel challenged, and I know everything is okay. Look what we're about to watch. Classic from when I was little. What do you think? You haven't seen it, huh?
I have not.
Nice.
I'm not a cultured child. I have not watched this.
Yeah. I had the gift of no censorship.
Have you seen Snow Day?
I don't know.
Oh, see? She's not cultured either.
Well, isn't it that, like,
God.
dorky, kid-friendly movie?
Yeah, shut up.
Alright, let's do this. Editing Alicia here, and I have to pop in and make some comments about this movie. So the scene in 8 Crazy Nights where the main character finally breaks down in the mall and cries, and all the mall logo characters are like coming to life. Not only is that heavily hinting at a magic mushroom trip, but the bus driver, after he leaves to go back to that event center, says, "Oh, are you having one of those mushroom dreams?" So that was definitely a magic mushroom trip. And that scene when he cried in the mall seemed like it stretched out forever to me as a kid. And I think it's really amazing. Like, I do not appreciate the fat shaming and the very, the jokes that did not age well, but the lessons about not covering up your traumas with alcohol and facing them on a mushroom trip instead. Oh my God, no wonder I have always loved this movie so much. Oh. Even like the messaging of when you haven't faced your traumas, you're just closed off to people, you're mean to people in the worst cases, or at the very least just completely closed off to them, which I can relate to. And then how after you heal those traumas on a mushroom trip, like you can love people and thrive in life again. It's just... Now back to your programming. I got to spend a couple nights at Keegan's parents' house, and yesterday we spent the entire day together just having quality time together and not working on the house, and it had been so long since we did that. It really helped restore my faith in life. I'm feeling really good in this moment. I didn't even realize that that was a part of why I was feeling so down. You can't just forget you're a couple and not prioritize your relationship, like, just because you have a task to do. It's just gonna, it just doesn't work that way. Keegan's about to paint over all of the other colors.
What?
along good. Blending the skin. He looks more like a human. Yeah. Faith restored. Woohoo! I definitely feel like something's off with the eyes. Yes, they're a little lighter. I wanted to do that on purpose to kind of show the nuances of the colors in the eyes, but it's more like the shape of the eyes, and I don't know, somehow I don't think I got the white shine big enough. It just, like in the eyes, I don't feel like it looks like him, and that's the most important part, to look like a person. So yeah, I've been way more challenged than I thought I would be with this drawing. And part of me wishes I just did pencil, but oh well. Can't take it too seriously. It's not like a heartbreaking, freaking huge life or death deal, you know? It's art. That's a pretty pink. Okay, but is it just me? What are these lines? They look strange. They're a lot brighter than they are on camera. I'm like, are they supposed, oops, not aiming right, sorry. Like, are those supposed to be clouds? Because that looks bizarre. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? They're like these bright lines. I almost feel stupid for how simple my life solution is with everything that I just said I was struggling with. But I need to simply keep my boundary that I set and not let my inner child down and literally leave the premises when someone's mistreating me and disrespecting me and, you know, etc., etc. Just don't react, don't respond, just leave. I can calmly say, you've crossed my boundary. I am now going to leave for a period of time and come back later. And it's just like unbelievably simple, and it's like part of why I was suffering so much was because I was breaking that promise to my inner child that I would take them away from, you know, that kind of stuff over and over and over again. And it's almost just too simple, but like that's all I have to do. I can't beg and convince someone to treat me right. Simply set a boundary. That's it. It's so simple. Like, it doesn't matter how crazy or irrational it might seem to up and leave, especially to the other person, but even to your own self, it's like, isn't your inner child worth it? Whatever you have to go through to get away, to keep your promise to your inner child. Rather than to resort to the old trauma habit of fawning or freezing or getting in your own ego and lashing back, which obviously only escalates and makes things worse. Boundaries are so important, and only you can decide what your boundaries are. You don't go looking to societal norms or to other people. Only you. And boundaries are freedom. Boundaries allow you to be at peace with your own self and to not be dragged down into other people's bullshit. Not to mention, boundaries are what allow you to have some sort of connection with people, like family members, without having to resort to fully cutting them off, which sometimes that can be necessary for periods of time, definitely. But yeah, that's another wonderful thing about boundaries, is it allows you to have connections at whatever level of intimacy that other person is capable of showing up with. And it's a really good sign of really far healing progress when you are able to do that, in my opinion. I think I'm out of the woods with these struggles, and life was just pressuring me until I finally learned this lesson, and now I'm like, all right. Now I can do my art and my creativity and get out of bed in the morning and function and be okay again, because I'm back in alignment with my own self. What a fucking relief. Like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm empowered. I have choices when it comes to what I allow myself to be subjected to. You know, I don't have to resort to old trauma habits of trying to convince and change the other person. In this moment, I would even say the suffering from not honoring your own self is probably worse than the suffering of just what other people like do to inflict harm. That's kind of really the conclusion I've come to, and maybe that was the point of all of this. At this point, as long as I'm always advocating for myself in a non-escalating way and keeping my promise to my inner child, as long as I'm doing that, I do not foresee the daily external annoyances to get at me so much, because it's always something so much deeper. It's never really the inconvenience in your day that's upsetting you. It's always something so much deeper under the surface. Like, whew, mushrooms taught me that one for sure. Speaking of tripping, I haven't been able to trip since like the end of September-ish, and it feels like a while, and that's just because I'm waiting for a good setting and set and all of that. And sometimes healing is not linear, and it can, if you're not careful, let you doubt things a little bit, but now I'm very clear on what's been going on, so yay! Because if I didn't know better from all the trips I have had, I would almost think that I've regressed and I've returned to depression or something with the extreme lack of motivation and lack of being able to see anything positively that I was dealing with on and off, but also just for a while in this chapter life that I mentioned before. I have the power to declare and affirm that that chapter is over now because I've learned what I needed to learn, and I'm never going to make that mistake again. And now I don't need to already be moved in with Keegan or to already have like everything all in order and a beautiful routine and whatever. I don't need all of that externally. I don't even need people to necessarily only treat me a certain way for me to feel happy and to feel good on the inside. It's like, it can be really, it just makes you angry to hear it when you're in the midst of dealing with it, but a lot of times it is something on the inside that needs to change, even though all you want to do is scream at everything else on the outside to change when you're like going through it actually. I just want to reiterate that keeping that promise to my inner child does not mean screaming even louder back to the other person. It means just simply not engaging. It also doesn't mean trying to calmly speak rationally with the other person, because we know that doesn't work. That was one of my go-to attempts in these situations my whole life, and all it did was build up extreme rage until I basically reached a point where I was gonna fucking snap. I also have a real issue with not looking upon the other person with like contempt, and I think being right within myself is also gonna help me look at them more with compassion for what they've been through to cause them to be that way, rather than with just contempt. And that helps me again further have inner peace. It's like, it's deep, yo.